Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the February 21st internal council meeting. So we're only going to be on till 10:30, and it looks like the rest of the afternoon's all in camera. So we'll call the meeting to order at 10:02. And the adoption of the agenda. Is there any additions or deletions?
Two things. Right.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be. Yeah. So we'll put them in at 2:10. Is there any more additions or deletions, Towfiq?
So I have two administrative things. So one is like a budget, which is in camera. So another is like detail and purchase that came yesterday.
Okay, can we put you in
Anytime when you get chance.
later in the afternoon?
Yeah.
Is there any more additions or deletions? Not seeing any. Can I get someone to move the agenda? Moved by Crystal. Seconded by John. All in favor? Motion carried. Now the minutes from January 10th. Action items are Chelsey. Regarding the bus, they're still in review. Again, with education of the tutors has been complete. To continue refining the incentive program and exploring ways to its reach. We did.
All of the things are in progress.
Okay, all everything else is in progress. In progress. Okay. I get a move for the minutes of January 10th, 2025. I'll move by Crystal. Seconded by Kyle. All in favor? Motion carried. Okay, the first one we have the defense department.
So this should be joining online, right? Alexis? Yes. This is for the Canfor world. Alexis. Oh, hi, Towfiq. So sorry, I didn't make it in time to the health center. Is it possible to zoom in for the one seat location?
Is that Alexis?
Alexis.
Okay, good.
Yeah, the roads are extremely busy.
Did you send the meeting link to Alexis?
Yeah, I'll send the updated one as well.
Such as the members too, those that are watching, if you don't have to go up today, try not to. It's extremely icy, black ice everywhere. It's hard to walk. Unless you walk like a penguin. Very slowly. So the first one we have on is lands, and they're gonna be zooming in. Yeah, I slid right by the road, and I think I was doing like 30 from all the way over, and got to the trucks and was just looking both ways, scanning. As if there's RC there, you're gonna pull me over because it's unsafe to stop. So we're gonna have lands, and what we're talking about, Canfor, Northside, and Southside, which are the connector.
Can we see joining in person or what? Like,
But I sent the link right now as well, again.
The topic of discussion is getting the MOU between us and Canfor for the use of the roads. It wouldn't be any liability attached to Canfor, just an acknowledgement that members and employees use this road. ICBC will cover all, or vehicles are covered by ICBC.
hi Alexis, did you get the link? Okay, sounds
They
good.
would be covered by health
Thank you.
wise, by WCB.
Think you should be here.
Fine.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Sorry for not being able to attend the location this morning. I apologize for that.
Yeah, no problem. The roads are crazy, icy.
Adam was just trying to get me hooked up in the boardroom here, but I'm on my. There. Shut off there. Okay, so where am I looking for the camera?
You're looking at us
Yeah.
now.
There we go.
Okay,
good morning.
you have the floor.
Okay, so I was asked to speak with regards to the road between Northside and Southside access for community members and employees. So I have some information here that I'll forward along as well, just for your files. And the question originally arose as, would Claytlay Nation be responsible for any kind of liability or risk being assumed when there are members or employees accessing the road because it's private. But the definition of the highway is kind of removed from this instant because a private road has to have like specific signs declaring it's a private road and declining access. If there have been no steps taken to prevent the general public from using the road, then for the passage of vehicles, it's not considered a private road any longer. So many years ago, there was a booth that was manned on the far north side that restricted access to cross the bridge. All of that's been removed and no longer present. And I believe that the only sign that we could find on the road was, covered by trees and very faded. So it's not like they're enforcing that private road any longer because I access it coming from Salmon Valley to the Shelley side myself. So in discussion with ICBC, I'm not a lawyer, but in discussion with ICBC, it was determined that this would not constitute necessarily a private road any longer. I did make the recommendation if there was still concerns in regards to it being a private road that we approach Canfor/CN and ask if they'd be willing to sign a memorandum of understanding for use by the community membership and employees. So I'll just do a little bit more. When there have been no steps taken to prevent the general public from using the road, it is then considered safe for passage of vehicles for driving along, parking, and servicing, okay? So that is in the Motor Vehicle Act. As Claytlay Nation does not have a responsibility to maintain the road, they would not be responsible for that roadway, okay? And the other factor that we considered is that in the province of BC with ICBC, it's no fault insurance moving forward. So there are no settlements to be sued for. So if there happens to be a rollover, single vehicle or a collision, there's no, unless there's illegal activity by the at-fault driver, there's no possibility to sue for damages any longer. Everybody has access to $7.3 million for healthcare and rehabilitation costs.
MOU.
I'll have to reach out to MOU with them.
So that MOU will be with province. ICBC.
No, Canfor and CN.
Canfor and CN.
Yeah. And sorry, Alexis, in the MOU, is it what exactly is it like? Should it state like the MOU would state something along the lines of our membership and our staff are allowed to use the road, and like is Canfor liable for any sort of accidents? Because there's the no fault insurance. That is just basically stating that we can use the road.
That's right.
Okay.
Because that was the main concern and focus on the request, is if it was a private road, would Claytlay be responsible if there was to be a vehicle accident? So because it's not even considered a private road, according to the Motor Vehicle Act that we're reading here today, it's a public highway. So it's going to be considered the same as any other public highway that would have an accident. If it were to get tied up in litigation for some reason in the court system, and they were to say it was a private road, and it could come into maintenance or, Canfor, depending what part of the road it was, if it was CN, they could be called in because it is their road. And they are, from my understanding, responsible for the maintenance of it. That would be for them to defend. And then if they were to, use the term of it's considered a private road, they weren't supposed to be on there, it doesn't meet any of the Motor Vehicle Act requirements. But to alleviate all of any potential litigation or process of court, it might be considered beneficial just to have that memorandum of understanding on file saying that you were allowed to access the road.
Okay. So we'll have to work on that MOU with Canfor.
Canfor and CN.
Canfor is so much easier to deal with than CS.
CN. We need to find out how to deal.
Yeah.
Contact person.
I have that average liaison lady on my email, so
Oh, that's good.
I'll get it and forward it to you guys.
Okay.
So then what I'll also do is I can send, I'll re-forward, Towfiq, I think yourself and Janice already have this information, but I'll send it again. And you can have it for your file for future reference, just advising what the definition of a highway is and how this doesn't really deem that description any longer because it's not being enforced.
Okay, so also, how do you mentioned today, please send me a summary of the discussion as well in the email. So that
Yes, absolutely. 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 And then also, so that's for the membership, like community members. When we're talking about employees and if they're traveling during the workday, and there's an accident, Lheidli Nation wouldn't necessarily be held responsible for that because we have workers' compensation. So that kind of risk is transferred during the workday.
Okay, how about, because our public work department, they work weekends as well, after working hour as well, because of the type of work, right?
Right.
So say if any incidents occur after 6 p.m. or like on a Saturday or on a Sunday.
So it is, to my understanding, and I'm not a lawyer, but in my discussion with ICBC and their Printed Motor Vehicle Act, this roadway that is Canfor and CN's responsibility is no longer designated a private road because access is not being denied. So it actually constitutes as a public highway that's being traveled by more than just Lheidli community members and staff, right? So this is the much larger picture. So because it's not being, like there's no restriction, it's not gated, it's not guarded, there's nothing posted except for a really old faded side behind the tree line that you can barely read anymore, saying that it was private road, probably from 1985. Like it doesn't really constitute a private road.
Yeah, close the ground. Okay.
But yeah, just to wrap those things up, that memorandum of understanding to access it would just kind of transfer that risk and just be prudent to have on file.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start working on that.
Just an update, Janice.
Yeah.
So what we discussed here, Alexis mentioned that we should have an MOU for Canfor and CN, so that like on our membership travel,
Yeah.
it is covered under the MOU, and
Yeah.
for our staff, it is already covered through WCG. And when this MOU will be in effect, it eventually covers everything.
Yeah, that sounds good. That makes sense. Yeah,
How is it driving
horrible, just horrible. It's just glare out there. I got really crappy tires. I just, praying nobody's coming the other way because I'm gonna take up the whole road. If I got a slide, I don't want to go in the
That
back.
corner coming down? Oh,
And I didn't even go into work this morning. I was driving along and the radio came on and a guy phoned in and said, Northwood Hill from the very top to the very bottom is black ice. Somebody should get some sand out here. I'm like, we?
It was closed at Fraser Flats, actually, because there was a head-on collision.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
There's a 3-car accident at First and Victoria. Yeah.
by the office.
Yeah. Yeah, it's right horrible out there. Yeah, even coming in, it's like, oh, come on. Coming after the pavement, you're coming in, it's like, there's nothing there. There's no sand, no nothing. I'm like, maybe I should turn around. And then I turn the corner and there's a little few pebbles there. It's like, there's a little bit of grip there.
It's something to the ground one too. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, the roads are really bad. So again, members, you don't have to go out and do not go out.
No.
And even walking is dangerous.
I know. And out of my truck, zip. It's like, oh, come on.
Throw your back up and stand.
It's never ending. Yeah, today's a very, very bad day. Okay, so MOUs for CN and Canfor, and
Yeah.
it should cover it.
Yeah.
Because the CN portion of it, their property encompasses that road there. And that's what got this all kicked off, is because last summer the grass was like really high and the trucks were running fast and hard. And I'm thinking, if a kid got an animal, anybody pops all that grass, nobody has time to stop. And that's how I found out CN has the property that encompasses that paved portion there. And so I asked her, I said, you guys take care of this, like the vegetation? She looked into lands, they lease it to Canfor. So that road is leased to Canfor, and it's up to them. She said, yeah, it's in their lease to take care of that vegetation. So, and then I got a hold of Canfor and they said, can you send me some pictures? Just send somebody. You're on the road.
It's your responsibility.
Yeah, yeah. And also in case anybody doesn't know, it's not the Beaver Forest Road. The Beaver Forest Road stops at the tracks. So I was trying to find out through forestry, the city, regional district, what is that road designated as? Is it private? Is it a resource road? Because that matters on coverage also. And I couldn't get anybody to give me an answer on that. But we are covered, yeah?
Because there's no statement saying it's private.
I can't find anybody to actually tell me, give me an email saying this road is designated as, I can't get anybody's answer.
But that works to your benefit anyways, because there's just another, like, if we can't find out that it's a private road, it's definitely not a private road, right?
Well, I just want to make sure, is it a resource road? Because if Canfor is leasing that portion of that road, is that their private road then?
So they could be responsible for the maintenance. It all depends on their contract. And I think that, we don't need to get that far into it. What we need to know is that ICB, if there is an insured vehicle, like this isn't going to encompass every case, right? So
Yeah.
if somebody is in an uninsured vehicle, there's no insurance anyways, right? But that's not going to impose a negligence on Clayton Lake because there was a member, a non-member, public at large that was operating an uninsured vehicle, right? That's a separate scenario. So if we're just talking about our community members accessing that portion of the roadway, if they have a licensed and insured vehicle operating on that road, there wouldn't be an issue. They're not going to get ticketed. They're not going to get fined. If there's an accident where they're negligent, there's going to be liability. And if they purchased collision and comprehensive for their vehicle, they'll have that coverage. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So because there's nothing restricting coverage because they are not exercising their right to make it a private road. So
Okay,
therefore it's considered under the definition of a highway.
all right,
Because
yeah,
they're not restricting access. They are not taking any steps to disallow people from accessing it.
okay. Good. Good.
Did that answer everybody's questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. Okay, enjoy the rest of the meetings and have a great day.
Be careful out there.
Thank
I
you.
will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would have been on time, but I was going to the Brunswick office. And I was almost there and it's that. It's just been a bad morning.
That's where Alexis is driving us from too.
We just can't get this day
Well,
together.
and the roads coming out here.
Yeah, it's white knuckle. It's horrible.
I felt so tense.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's like, anytime that race is a skiff.
Mhm.
yeah. And you're just crawling, like you're not going
Well,
fast.
if you're crawling,
It doesn't matter.
if you hit the brakes, you're out of control.
Yeah, yeah. The river. Sure, it's frozen.
So that's it for me.
Yes, that's it, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Good to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all for today.
So, are in camera for the rest of the day. Everyone be careful out there. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.